welcome to another episode of the Philosophy Podcast. I am your host, Controversy, and to my right, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, none other than Mr.
Darren Love!
And together, we are the Philosophy Podcast. Thank you to you guys for tuning in to a brand new episode. Thank you for tuning in once again this week. And like we always say, what is on the agenda for this week, mate? What is today's
hot topic?
That's it.
I thought we'd talk about reliability today.
Reliability?
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. So this week, we're talking all about reliability. What are your thoughts, mate?
Well, I feel like reliability is quite an important thing, really.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't think anybody really likes being let down.
No, that's true. That's true.
It's kind of to do with trust, isn't it? As well, that is, isn't it? Reliability.
Yeah, yeah. Someone who's trustworthy.
I feel that you're a very reliable person. That's why I get on with you so much, because you've never let me down.
Thank you, mate. And likewise. And likewise.
You know what I mean?
And likewise,
I just feel that I enjoy being reliable as well.
Yeah, same.
And I make a point with it, and I feel like if I am, if I'm late for work, I mean, I don't work anymore, but when I used to be late for work or late for anything, I used to kick myself. I used to be angry with myself. If you see what I mean. So yeah, I feel like it's important, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's important to get married to somebody that's reliable as well.
Definitely.
I think it's one of the most important things in life.
Well, I was going to say, pretty much in every relationship in life, whether it be like a relationship with with a woman, or like a friendship, or whatever the case may be, the reality is that you want to be around reliable people, and the same, it needs to be reciprocal as well too. You can't just, like we always say, you can't just expect to have reliable people around you but not be reliable yourself, if you see what I mean. The same way that you want to be able to count on people, people should be able to count on you as well, if you see what I mean. It's not a one-way street, if you see what I mean. It's an even exchange, and that's how life works, if you see what I mean. It's just about being accountable, just being, especially as a man, like we were talking about earlier. Of course, it applies for everyone, but especially even for me, I feel like even more as a man, like your word is like essentially your bond, as they say. Like if you're going to make a promise, or you're going to make some kind of declaration that you're going to do something or be somewhere, or undertake some kind of obligation, whatever it may be, and then not be reliable, don't show up, or get there late, not be punctual, not be reliable in terms of being able to fulfill your contractual obligations, let's say if it was for work or for financial gain or whatever, and then people don't want to work with you anymore, people don't want to, if you see what I mean, people don't, it might sound harsh, right, but it's quite true, right, and it's sad in a way, but this is just kind of how life works. You lose the moment that you become the moment you become unreliable to anyone in life. You lose a tremendous amount of your value as a person, if you see what I mean. And that is just the reality of life, people won't value you, people won't trust what you say, people won't necessarily want to have you as a friend, or an associate, or an acquaintance, or whatever, if you see what I mean, because you won't be trustworthy. People might say to themselves, this person's not honest, this person is not a person of character. Especially when you're a mature adult human being, these are all qualities that we have to learn to master and implement in our lives. You want to be trustworthy and loyal and respectful and all these kind of things,
I think it's also a good idea, really, not to rely on anyone. Because you'll get let down in life, if you see what I mean. I think you can only rely on yourself, I feel, more than anything. And I just feel like if you're not reliable, you're just letting yourself down.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, a very important thing, just to be reliable for your own good, I feel. Is that right? For your own benefit, really. You know, I feel like if you're a reliable person, it does come back. And people respect that.
Yeah. People will want to help you, if you see what I mean. Especially if they know that anytime you help someone or you do something for someone,
count on you.
That is genuine. It comes from like a genuine place. You've got genuine intentions. You're not trying to help someone because you're trying to take advantage or whatever the case may be. It's just from a genuine place because you want to help. People usually realise that and can feel it emotionally, if you see what I mean. They know you've got a good heart or whatever the case may be. You know, you're coming from a good place. You've got no ill will. You've got good intention. So then, if the shoe is ever on the other foot, you know, hopefully it isn't. You know, because obviously we all want to be prosperous, and you know, but it happens. And then you know, hopefully it's reciprocated. You know, so yeah.
I mean, when I go to the doctors or when I look back at my school days, when I was late, it's like they punish you for it.
Get chastised, yeah.
Or if I'm late for the doctors, they will cancel it, and then you have to book up another appointment and wait 2 weeks for the next one, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not like, you know, you might be late because you got a broken leg and it took you a long time to get there, you know, but they don't care. You know, they don't like you being late. But when it's the other way around, because I mean, I went to the doctors a few months back or something, and they're 3 hours late. That's not very reliable, is it? It got me very angry, you know.
Well, that's ridiculously late. 3 hours is like, that is absolutely. Can you imagine waiting 3 hours?
I did, you know. It's not in my imagination.
No. I know it did happen. I just can't believe, like, you just can't believe someone would have to wait 3 hours.
Well, I was going crazy, you know. At the end of it, you know, I was getting very like angry that, well, why? You know, and it's just it's just no need for it, and it just, like I say, I think people need to be reliable.
Yeah.
In life, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Especially these doctors, you know, when people need medical help.
Yeah.
And medical attention, they've already got problems already, if you see what I mean.
Yes.
But yeah, reliability is very, very, very important, I feel. So I quite enjoy being as reliable as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like I need to be as reliable as I used to be because I don't work for anyone anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like I say, it's a good idea really not to rely on anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
I agree with that.
It's like when, you know, I used to get picked up to go to work and I had to rely on someone.
Yeah.
But it's always best to sort of get there, you know, even if you have to walk, because you know you're going to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good idea, I feel, to be independent, I suppose.
In charge of your own,
yeah. Good to be independent, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I agree with that, mate. I'm a big believer in not relying on anyone else. Like, yes, you know, I believe that it's up to every individual out there to, you know, to look after, you know, especially when you got to a certain age, it's up to you to look after yourself and your responsibilities. Like, you know, you could just do what you need to do. You know, you just, you know, work as many hours as you need to work, or whatever the case may be. Like, you just, you know, part of being reliable is being responsible, if you see what I mean. It's like if you've got a job and you're contractually obligated, you sign a contract to say you're going to work X amount of hours a week and you're going to be here at this time and you're going to finish at this time and this is the time you'll have your break and X, Y, you know, yada, yada, yada. You have to be reliable, if you see what I mean. Because if you're not reliable, you're not a good employee, you're always late, or not reliable in terms of doing your job, you always leave the job half done when you leave work at the end of the day. Everyone else has finished their work, but you've only done half of yours, you know, because you've not been too serious, or you've been, you know, going for breaks longer than you should have gone for, and just taking advantage, not you know, just doing what you want to do instead of what you know, what you signed, you know, what you contractually obligated to do. And then people lose their jobs, you know, and sometimes a lot of people don't take self-accountability and realise that the problem isn't always other people, it can be them, if you see what I mean. And that's where the whole thing of accountability comes in. It comes in, and, you know, if you know if you're the type of person that you're not reliable and you're constantly losing your job, or whatever the case may be, then you know you've got to do something about that. you've got to work on that. Otherwise, you're just going to go, for the rest of your life, you're just going to go throughout your life constantly getting a job and losing a job, and not having any kind of like sustainability or any kind of kind of balance in life. If you see what I mean, you're constantly going to be chasing your tail and living a life that's very, very hard, and not really very pleasant, to be honest. So yeah, it's about being accountable and working on your flaws and just knowing, because don't get me wrong, there's loads of people out there when they were first started working as a young teenager, they might not have taken it as seriously as they should have done, if you see what I mean. But then as obviously they get older and they mature, they realise, I messed about, I pissed around, and I'm not going to ever let that happen again, if you see what I mean. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I'm responsible, I'm reliable, and I'm going to be the best employee or whatever the case is that I can possibly be, and become, successful, if you see what I mean, at their job, whatever it is they're doing, so yeah,
You also got to have a reliable boss or manager, somebody that's going to pay you at the end of the week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, got that right.
You don't want to work for somebody that working hard for a month and then you don't get paid at the end of it, because that will anger you. So we all do count on relying on each other in a big way. I mean, you could be working for a company and the boss is not very good and he doesn't really care about you anyway, do you know what I mean? And that's not very reliable.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, if a manager is not very reliable to anyone, the company might fall down because of it, you see. Do you know what I mean? Reliability is very important all the way around. I feel like we all rely on each other in a big way.
Ah, we do, yeah.
We don't realise it. It's like, for instance, I went on Thursday, I phoned up my mum and said, coming up, I'll make you dinner and all this. And
yeah.
I bought all the bits and pieces, went over there to get a train, and the trains are on strike. And we, you think, and you think, okay, they're on strike, but it kind of like a domino effect for people's lives a little bit. You know what I mean? Some people are trying to get to work, but then they phone up and they can't, and then they got to lose money because of it, whatever. Or I went to try to see my mum for the day, but that can happen because they're on strike. And we're all counting on each other and relying on each other for, like I say, when they go on strike, it causes, it doesn't make things better, does it? It kind of worsens things, right? It prevents people, it makes people poor in a funny way when people do that, when they go on strike, I feel.
Well, in my opinion, right, these people need to have people, what they call bank staff. Yeah? These people need to have people on standby that work for these train systems, that in the event that there is ever a strike, because a lot of these people obviously they're signed up to work as unions and things like this, and they have the right to strike. That is part of the, that's part of being an employee. You have to, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, that's debatable. I know obviously the general argument for most of these strikes is more money, isn't it? They all want more money.
Well, because
of the price of living, and inflation, which is understandable. We all understand that, and I agree in that regard, and whatever else. But these people, it happens all the time, and these people know that these people are going to strike up at a particular time. And the thing is, like I'm saying, these people should have people that are, however many employees that they need in, but for whenever, emergencies essentially. So whenever these things do happen, that these workers can go off to their strike, and these people will step in and and do the job for a few days or however long the strike goes on for, if you see what I mean. You've got to have a backup plan. It's like anything in life. It's like electric. Large people have got companies and restaurants and all type of shit. If they if the electric goes out, they've got backup generators. If you see what I mean, it's just about having a backup plan. It's not rocket science. It's just thinking ahead. Thinking ahead. If worst case scenario, worst event. If this happens or that happens, what do we do? And how do we prevent it from becoming an absolute disaster?
Well, like the shutdown.
Yeah.
Was that handled very well?
No.
Not at all.
No.
That caused a lot of mental health problems, if you ask me. Mental health problems is not good, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not. It's one of the biggest issues, really. I feel like even before the shutdown, a lot of people had mental health problems already.
Yeah.
So shutting down again, it's just like I say, it's slowly making people poor, they can't get to work or whatever and things. They're only key workers.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you know, I just feel like it's disabling us slowly, you know, all this sort of stuff, you know, and all these strikes. It's just making things worse and worse for everyone. You know, like I say, we all rely on each other.
Yeah.
You know, now I feel like if we're all reliable and if we're all, I feel like we all do need to get paid fairly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I feel like anybody that's employed is giving up half their life.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And they should get paid a hell of a lot more than they get paid for giving up half their life.
I agree.
Only having a few days at Christmas off and things and waiting for their retirement, you know, for a long, long, long way away. I mean, the time you do get old, really, and you do get retired, you don't feel like going anywhere anyway. Do you see what I mean?
It's a trick, mate. It's a scam.
I mean, I know some old people might, you know, they've got a bit of energy, if you see what I mean, but rarely, when you get to that age, your wife or your husband, they're old, and you've got to sort of like, probably sort of like get them out of bed and things like that, you know. Life gets more difficult as you get older.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it's not so easy, really. You lose your memory and things, you lose your eyesight.
It's a scam, mate. It's one big scam. You know why? As we all know, it's a scam. You start working at 18 or 21.
I just say, just enjoy your life now.
Yeah. But people, don't get me wrong, we don't want people to misinterpret it and say everyone has to work. That's just the reality. We know it's a scam. But unfortunately, the reality is that in order to survive, you have to work and you have to do certain things in order to survive, if you see what I mean. You know, it's the way the system is designed, you know. You know, you can't just say tomorrow I'm going to give up my job and or do certain things, you know. You have to have a plan again, you know. If you want to be free from the system, then you need to become your own boss, you know, and have a good business or some kind of thing that's generating a good amount of income that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. You've got enough money in the bank account that you can say tomorrow I'm not working for 2 weeks, you know what I mean? I'm going on holiday somewhere, you know, come back and work for 2 days and say, look, I'm off somewhere else again for another 2 weeks. Sorry, you know what I mean? You know, like. Because
I feel like when you work for somebody else, really, you are kind of partly a slave. You know, you partly, aren't you? You know, because you've got to sort of give up half your week to do something for somebody else. And I just feel like when you're employed with somebody else, you're a little bit poor in life. You know, you might get a bit of money for your job, okay, whatever. You might get a lot of money, but I just feel you're poor still. For somebody else, you're not independent.
No.
Unless you're working for somebody, all right, that gives you independence in a way, you know, gives you a bit of freedom, and you've got a good job that you can just go around taking photographs and have your freedom.
Yeah.
You know, a bit like policemen, really, they're quite free, you know, with their job. Not all the time.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Sometimes I just feel some people are free with their jobs.
Yeah.
More than others.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Depending on what job you've got. I feel like a lot of people out there don't like their jobs, so they find it very difficult to be reliable. I feel like it's very hard to be motivated if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you see. So if you don't enjoy what you're doing, like I've experienced it, you know, I've worked in a factory. The first sort of few months is okay, it's all new to me and I met a lot of new people in there. And it was, you know, kind of nice because you meet new people, but after a while it's like, whoa, I want to get out of here, you know, I'm starting to dream of this place. Pizza machines are starting to tempt me. You know, my dreams and all that. And then you wake up and you think, God, I've got to go there again. And then
can't escape it.
It's like a nightmare in a funny way. You live in a nightmare. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, and the place is not very nice either, or whatever, and there's no windows in a kind of way, or you live, you know, working on the ground in caves and things all day. It's horrible. It kind of like takes the enjoyment of what life could be. You know, life can be enjoyable, I feel, depending on what you're doing for a living and whether you enjoy it. You know, that's key, I think, to life, really, enjoying it and learning how to enjoy it in every situation, I feel.
Definitely.
I feel like too many people do complain about things, you know. Like
minor things.
Yeah, even the weather, whatever, you know, and I think, well, at least this has got oxygen, water, this planet, and
well, I just think, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Why are you complaining about it? How are you going to affect it in any way, shape or form?
No, I appreciate the fact that we got rain, you know, and thunder and all this.
Well, we need it, don't we?
That's the thing. Well, you know, if this planet was too hot, the water would all evaporate, and that's that. I know that for a fact. You think about it.
Yeah.
You know, water evaporates off heat. So if this planet was any hotter, there wouldn't be any ocean on it. It'd boil up. You know what I mean, and evaporate upwards. Yeah. And I just feel like we should appreciate that, and yeah. But we're talking about reliability, you know, and even a planet that we're living on, it's got to be reliable.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
But it's true, isn't it? We've got to rely on the oxygen.
We're relying essentially on Mother Nature, essentially. Yeah.
Well, the temperature is constantly changing, the oxygen temperature. Every minute that goes by, and it has done, night and day, you think about night, it gets colder. Sun comes up, gets warmer, maybe, whatever. But constantly changing, right? But not at one time has the water disappeared off the planet of this earth. Do you know what I mean? I think we should appreciate it. You know, we've got butterflies on this, and trees, and zebras, and you know, and all this kind of stuff. You know, but if you go to Mars or something, you've got nothing. Yeah. Not even a tree. Yeah. You know, and think, hang on, you know, why are people moaning here? You know, you've got everything on this planet. You know, even a milkshake. Yeah. Yeah. You know. I know. And I've got to rely on this even. When I drink it, it's not gone off. Yeah. Got to rely on everything. Seriously.
But no, you have to, you have to be appreciative, you know. Too many people out there get caught up and focused on very minute details of life, things that are really have no significant importance, if you see what I mean, in the grand scheme of life. And it's, you know, just, you know, try to be happy.
I think it's, you know, I really think it's all a miracle. Even the moment right now, it's an amazing miracle, if you ask me. Yeah. Everything.
We're all alive.
Everything.
And
the memory.
Especially right now, we're living in a time that's never, obviously, there's been no time in future. There's been no time, right, the time that we're living in right now, there's been, you know, it's the first time we've ever been at this point in human history, if you see what I mean.
This is the furthest we've ever got.
Furthest we've ever got.
I mean, this right now, this moment is the oldest everything been.
But yeah, exactly. And technologically, we're further. Technologically, we're further than we've ever been, I believe. You know.
This is the farthest point the universe has gone in age. Tomorrow, it'll be a bit older. Yeah. Yeah. So we got to rely that the universe is going to be here when we wake up.
You got to rely that we're going to continue. That when we wake up, there's still oxygen.
Or the sun won't explode. Something like that. You know, I feel like we rely on. I mean, we even rely on the insects really, because they're doing a job. Yeah. For if say, because I read that if say all the spiders disappeared, everything would disappear. Because we kind of like a chain thingy, whatever.
Oh yeah, the chain of
Or if you took all the fungus away, or the mushrooms have got a job to do. Even the flies. Okay, like if we didn't have those flies, you know, because they eat dead things. They're rotten food. Okay, but if we didn't have flies, this rotten food would give us diseases apparently. You know, I read. Whether that's true or not. But we've all got a purpose in this life, big or small.
Everything in creation.
We're all connected, and I think we all kind of rely, like the bees, if they went missing.
If the bees for sure.
Everything. You know, you might say the bees, but I feel like anything. You know, the ants, if they disappeared, it has an effect on other animals.
Of course,
And they die, and that has a big
knock-on effect on something else. Yeah, it's like a domino effect. Yeah. Sure. But yeah, like you said, for sure, the bees, mate. If all the bees, mate, that, you know.
Yeah, well,
that'd be the end of.
The thing is, they are sort of getting rarer slowly. Yeah. But yeah, we've got to rely to make a better future for ourselves, haven't we?
Exactly. Yeah, it's true.